Oh, episode 3 of the M5 Performance Diaries, and another big week in front of me. Monday is my recovery day, so you'll see a lot going on there. You're going to see Glen Strutt stick a whole stack of needles in me and watch me squirm. Also catching up with a couple of our M5 performance athletes, particularly Sam Fothergill, who is our new pro. Sam's actually racing Airlie Beach this weekend. He's going to be up against a couple of other M5 athletes, which is Jack Zasinski and Jared Osborne in the Olympic distance race. So that's going to be, he's jumping in the deep end, so that'll be good. Also got some, I'm expecting some ASICS products to start arriving. We'll get a bit of a look at, see what that is and what athletes are choosing what. And I'm going to give you some background in relation to how I've come up with my PB number. The people around me that's hopefully going to help me get there. And I guess how I've sort of set my goals. I'm going to break it up for you so you can see the swim, bike and run, and how I've come up with the number that I've come up with. Other than that, hang around. At the end of the YouTube, I've got a little bit of information that I'd like to show you about our next episode coming up. Monday, and I have had recovery day for me. So I've had my hyperbaric. I did that in the morning, and right now about to head into a whole world of pain. I'm going to go and see Glen Strutt from Enduro Performance. I've seen him before. He's the osteopath, very good. He's helped me before with some massive sciatic issues that I have. I have a feeling cramping in my hamstring is coming from my back. It just feels more neural than anything else. I did run yesterday on the treadmill with on the lever system for 90 minutes, and that was okay, obviously controlled with the amount of weight the lever system took, but nevertheless it was still 90 minutes, and if I had a torn hamstring I wouldn't be able to do that. So it's cramping, but I'm hopeful that Glen will find a solution. And what I do know, and I'm going to take you in to see this, this is a really painful session. So he's going to get in there. I just know with his elbows into the hammy and around it, he's going to go for trigger pointing, and then he's going to stick these bloody needles in me, which going to hurt like hell. So anyway, it's all part of getting to Port Macquarie in shape that I can get this PB, which I've been bragging about, and it looks like I own it now. It's 10:20. So all my mates are telling me that that's what the number is. So that's what I've come out with. And so let's go and get it by getting this hamstring sorted once and for all. Wow. Here he is.
Hey Phil, how are we going? Welcome to Enduro Osteopathy. Yeah. Alright, so essentially what we think's happening is whatever happened a few weeks ago probably strained the muscle. There might be a small tear in there. It's hard to know specifically without getting further imaging like an ultrasound or MRI. But at this point, pretty confident there's just a strain within the muscle. Essentially what happens is the muscle fibers are sort of pulled apart from each other, and then that's obviously not very comfortable. So in order to help the muscle along with its healing process, essentially we irritate it and we trigger the body to heal itself. So if you think about it, you fall over and scab your elbow, the body sends blood to the scab to patch it up and help it heal faster. So essentially I'm trying to irritate the muscles that have been damaged so that the body can send more blood to that area and help them heal faster.
Damn, you're a really good job of irritating.
It's the best part of my job. Yeah. And then the dry needling, which we'll get to shortly, is it's the same concept. It's just a lot more invasive and can trigger a greater response. Obviously uncomfortable, but yeah, really good at helping that healing response and getting. Alright, so we're about to do the dry needling now. So essentially what we do with the dry needling is pretty simple. We pop a needle into the muscle belly And similar to what we're doing with the massage, we're trying to irritate the muscle belly to increase the blood flow to the area to help it heal faster. Obviously a lot more invasive than what I do with my with my hands, so it is quite uncomfortable when I hit the sore spots. Climbs up and roll around a bit, so we'll see what we can do to fill you. It's only in for about 10 to 15 seconds. It is pretty sore, but after that, as I said, it does get some really good healing response. So, yeah. Not even in yet. That's pretty good. Nice. That one's out. Cool. That was pretty good. Do the same on the other side of those muscles. Yeah, there you go. That's what we were expecting.
Oh.
Good. One more. One more thing you're done. That's what I was expecting, to be honest.
All
Good.
right.
Good. Nice. I was so. We fuck all this away.
Can you at least just give it a rub?
Give it a rub. Still there. Pretty sore.
Okay.
Let me put this down. Do some mobility work. There you go. That's what was inside.
So I've been talking about my journey to Port Macquarie and to try and get myself a PB, and I've gone back through the history, and my PB is 10:33. Okay, and just to show you where that is, it's right back in 2004. I don't know if you can see that, but there it is there. 2004, a long time ago. So that's the PB, but my goal is 10:20. That's what I'd really love to go and achieve. And as a 62-year-old, that ain't going to be easy. But I've got to say, there's somebody in my age group who lives down the road to me on the Gold Coast, and I think they've got 10:16. So, that's a great time, mate. Well done. All right, so that's the goal. But like anything, like any professional athlete and any type of athlete at all, if you've got a stretch goal, you've got to have people around you, and you've got to have a network around you to be able to help you achieve that. It is really difficult. Doesn't matter if you're a 62-year-old, it doesn't matter if you're a 16-year-old or everything in between. It doesn't have to be an endurance event, it could be a sprint distance event. Whatever it is, if you have a high performance goal, you need to have a team around you that's going to help you and back you get there. All right, really important. Very hard to do this stuff on your own. And what does that team look like? Well, if you're young and you're still living at home, and we've got a couple of those in our team, the family unit is absolutely important. Parents, family, they're effectively the backbone. That keeps it all together for you. You need to be fed. You need all those types of supports. That's very important. What also is important is that the parents and the family, they don't have all the answers for you. They may not know the sport that you're in. They may not have the answers that you want, and you may not be feeling comfortable in communicating some of the things that you might want to communicate with family members. So sometimes I also suggest perhaps a mentor to sit beside that, but they need to agree to each other. You certainly don't have a mentor if the family hasn't approved who that mentor is, but they're a very good sounding board, and I've acted as a mentor for many athletes over the years. Then if we swing back this way, friends. Why friends important? Because they keep you on track. You need to get the right ones, because if you don't get the right ones, they might be great friends, but if they're party animals and they want to go out and have fun and take you off your journey, off your goal, they're probably for a period of time best to just put them to one side and you can come back to them. You need to have people in your corner. 4 or 5 people are absolutely rock solid in on what you're trying to achieve. Coaches. Everyone has to have a coach. We need our coaches. I've got a great coach, Dave Walsh, and he works within our Human Go platform, which effectively is AI based. It's where all my training comes from, overseen by David. Then a high performance unit. Again, no different. Doesn't matter if you're 62 years old. Doesn't matter if you're 16-year-old. These types of things are very important. Strength and conditioning, mental health. I mean, this mental health space is so huge. I mean, if you just got to listen to Grant Giles, I urge you to go and have a look at his stuff. This space is so important. It is the difference between having a high performance goal, but not a high performance mindset. If you've got both, these type of outcomes are very achievable. Recovery, again, doesn't matter what your age you are, but certainly from someone that's aging a bit. I'm using Hybox, I'm getting massage, I'm getting ice, I do sauna, and right at the moment, and you've seen in this particular episode that I'm seeing an osteo Glen Strutt. That's painful, but that's part of my program. So that is it. And then over here is very important because particularly if you're a pro, not everyone needs a manager or an agent as a professional. But some do, and it's certainly a space that I work in, and there are some athletes that I can help with. And the reason why I choose those athletes is I generally think they're commercially savvy, and now marketing wise, they have enough influence to be able to move the needle for sponsors. And that's why I work with them, because we can get general outcomes for them. Abilities to go and find these. But it's got to be both ways, because I don't really need that. This is critical to me. My wife, my kids have all been involved in this journey. They're all going to be coming along to Port Macquarie in 12 weeks' time, which is going to be bloody awesome. I've got some friends coming along as well, which is also going to be awesome. The coach is going to get me. I trust the Human Go program. I've got all this going on, and I've got the backing of some amazing partners through the M5 performance program. And hopefully that gets done and that one gets done. So great having that network support around you, really important, but it's absolutely a waste of space if you haven't got it up here and you're not taking ownership over what it is you've got to do. Great having a wonderful network. The bottom line, it's all about what's going on here and to a certain extent what's going on up there. So let me just take you through it. How am I going to get to this 10-20? Well, I sort of tend to work on stuff that's evidence-based, certainly in the last 12 months, because for me as an athlete, I get confidence when I know that I can see it, and I know that I've either done it before, or I've done it in training, or I've just missed it, whatever it might be. There's something that gives me the confidence based on evidence that I can get to a certain outcome. Let me tell you what this evidence is. So right at the moment in the pool, I'm probably swimming. Well, I am swimming as fast as I've ever done, and I'm as fit as, or about the same as what I would typically be from a fitness point of view coming up to an Ironman. But the speed has improved. We've got a great coach, Gary Elston, who works within the Human Go program, but he's there cracking the whip with us when we swim. So he's got me swimming really well at the moment. So there's speed there, and if I transferred that speed out of the pool into into any typical open water, you would think that I'd be able to swim well and truly under 107. In fact, even around that hour mark. But I can't do that. What happens when I get to open water? It's not about panicking. In fact, I always feel really comfortable in the water. I never feel stressed. I just feel slow. It's one of the areas that I'm working on. I have done a lot of open water training, but obviously not enough. So I've got to get myself much more familiar with being in a wetsuit and being quick in open water. So there's work there that needs to be done. That's got a question mark on it that needs to be worked on, but even so, I'm still giving myself a 107 because if I do swim well, then it'll come under 107, but typically 107 is where I would end up. And then if I look at the bike, again, evidence-based, my bike is really well at the moment. I'm nice and aero as I ever have been. I feel comfortable. I can stay down the bars for 5+ hours, no problem. I'm eating well on the bike. I'm doing all the things that I need to be doing. So there's not much that I need to do differently other than just execute a good race and stay to my watts and not overbike. At Port Macquarie, at Cairns, 7 or 8 weeks ago, I ran a 5:33. I dropped the chain a couple of times, so I had to stop. And it was a really windy day. Really windy day. So based on that, I think a 5:20 at a course like Port, where it doesn't blow much. It's dead roads, but I think 5:20 is a good chance. And then running, again, if I look at evidence-based, it was only 12 months ago, I ran a 3:19 in a very, very difficult course, and that's Sydney in a marathon. And at the 30-kilometre mark, I was still on 4:24 kilometre pace. So I know that I can run well. The issue that I have at the moment is I just haven't been able to get the volume into my legs because of injuries. It's not about making excuses. It's just a reality that when you get a bit older, I've got a knee that's full of arthritis, and because I'm limping a lot, there's a lot of imbalance in the way I'm running when I get tired, and that can cause some injury. So what am I doing about that? Well, I'm going to the osteo. I'm doing all the things that I'm meant to be doing regarding recovery, but the most important thing is I'm able to run again, and I'm starting to build my volume up. And I don't need to run 100 kilometres a week, but I do need to run to about 70 in those peak weeks. And at the moment, I'm trending to be able to do that, even with a slight hammy issue. So I'm pretty confident by the time Port Macquarie comes around that I would have had that volume in my legs. And if I have that volume in my legs, then I believe 3:45 is absolutely I'm capable of. There's an 8 minutes transition. The first T1 is always a bit longer. You've got to go a bit of a ramp, and then you can scoop through T2 pretty quickly, and that gives us a 10:20. So really reasonable. This number empowers me, and the reason why it empowers me because it's evidence-based. It means it's something when I look at and go, I can actually do this. I can visualize it, I can see it, I can look at it, on a piece of paper or a whiteboard and say, yeah, I can do that. And that sort of motivates you from my point of view. It's not a number that I go, there's a stretch goal, but I haven't done the work to get to the stretch goal. Yeah, this is a stretch goal, but I'm going to be able to do the work to potentially make this happen. So there we go. That's the strategy. Let's see how we go. But plenty of time between now and then. So I'll keep on checking in. Okay, I want to talk to you about ASICS. ASICS have been with us for 5 years. They've been our foundation partner, and we've been very fortunate to have them on board. When I founded M5 Academies, now Performance, to start off with, it was about delivering value back to the industry, as in the brands within the industry, because at that stage, I don't think the pros were doing a terrific job in delivering content back. That's changed, and it's changed for the better. But 5 or 6 years ago, not so much, in my opinion. So what I did is I went out there and thought, I'm going to go and get myself 20 really good athletes who are prepared to drive good content on behalf of partners, and then we're going to see if we can find those partners who will support that type of initiative. And so they sort of went hand in hand, but predominantly it was a commercially driven project to start off with. And we've been very fortunate that we were backed pretty well straight away by companies like ASICS. And they've been with us ever since, and we are so fortunate. And as we go into our new year, which starts the 1st of August, we've recruited our team. I've spoken about that, 20 athletes, and we are going to be starting to hand out these shoes. Now, this is just some of the shoes that have started to roll in. There's more to come. I just thought I'd give you a quick overview of what's going on. Most of it, our team loves training in Mega Blasts and, where is it, Super Blast, here somewhere. Yeah, they love training in these shoes, and there's awesome colour. I can't tell, to be honest with you, I can't tell the difference between the two. They're both amazing. Other guys and girls in the team, they can, but they're just a great training shoe. Obviously, we can't race in them at the moment. Hopefully that changes. And what we do race in are again, seems to be the most popular shoe, are the Sky Tokyos. Again, awesome colours. What I'm loving about this colour is, everyone knows, that's the M5 green colour, so it sort of fits our team really, really well. And then all the way through to some trail running shoes, which is the Trabacos. They're the 5s. Again, a really terrific shoe. And our athletes are starting to wear those as well, because some of them are doing some of their long runs. They like to go out into the trails. That's their shoe of choice. So really, that's it from our point of view. These will start going out soon. From my point of view, in racing Port Macquarie, I've got Mooloolaba coming up. I'll run in Tokyos. The Skies I'll run in, and the same shoes I'll run in for Port Macquarie as well. And my chosen shoe for training is the Super Blast. I just love those shoes. Other than that, that's it. We've been really fortunate to have ASICS on board with us. Our athletes get 2 pairs of these, and then a really good ongoing discount on new products on the way through. And and again, it's a two-way street. So they have a responsibility to deliver really good, authentic content back to our partner. And in this case, it's ASICS. Yeah, well, thanks for hanging around. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I did promise I'll have some information, and that is that the one and only Craig Alexander, Crowie, you may know, is moving into the world of business, and actually has been for quite some time. But he's an owner of the Training House Shop, who are I declare a partner of M5 Performance and a number of our athletes. But you're going to hear from Crowie not from an athlete's point of view. You're going to hear from him from a business point of view. He's now what it's like sitting on the other side of the desk. And now that he's happened to choose athletes to work with his brands and what he looks for, and just some of the things that made him successful. And it wasn't just the fact that he was an amazing athlete. He was also a very, very, very good asset for brands, because he worked well with them. And he's going to give us some insight in relation to that. So that'll come up in episode 4, not to be missed. Please like and subscribe. Come and join us.